So we are still stuck in this range. Areas that we wanted to buy, it's about 30.4 down to about 29.5. This is about roughly a 3.5% range for you to build a position. Why am I choosing Bitcoin to build a position instead of altcoins right now? Because we have certain assumptions, right? So these are my assumptions right here. These are the reasons why we're bidding as prices come down here. Will it be scary when prices come down here? Yes, I should add that. And these are just mental notes for myself. These are just mental notes that you want to keep, because if you don't have a plan, you are going to panic. I literally have 100K 30.4, 100K 30.3, 100K 30.2, 100K 30.1, right? That's how I layered my bid, just because I'm not sure if prices are actually gonna come down to 29.5. I don't think that's gonna happen unless something sporadic occurs in the news. The trade setup in its entirety is in the Discord. Let's do ETH, the coin that sucks ass and everybody wants to long for some reason, me included. It just doesn't look that great, honestly. Well, we do have a higher low forming on the daily, which was what we talked about last stream, where we said we wanted to see coins start to build out their higher lows. I'm not a big fan of ETH right now for whatever reason. It's not a fundamental thing, it's just for whatever reason the prices just don't move very much. I do prefer the Solana alternative. Yes, Solana is not as attractive given that the fundamentals might not be as good for you. On a PA point of view, right, a price action point of view, Solana is much more attractive as an asset than Ethereum. So I'm gonna go ahead and chart Solana. I would recommend that if you are in Ethereum, hold that spot position, right? Like, there are different trading strategies for different assets. If you're trading Ethereum, I don't expect you to trade it as if you're trading Solana. I like Solana here. Ideally, we just continue to consolidate down here. I don't want to see prices lose 21.7. Consolidation here is fine. So that's 22.34 down to about 21.75. So consolidation here is a good area to pick up an entry under 4-hour positions. And if you haven't, I actually did just release a new video on this channel. There is a new Solana trading video that was just dropped like 2 days ago or something. So check that out if you haven't. It gives you a thought process behind my trades, right? And how I execute things. In Waves, I think there's like a couple free trades that line up every now and then. There's also a trade video on Waves, which is another shameless plug on the YouTube videos, but it gives you a much more detailed approach to how I was doing it in live time, and something that maybe you can incorporate into your trading. When you see failed pushes up on Waves, it almost always completely retraces. I remember we had something right here, failed push up all the way back down, failed push up, right? Almost all the way back down. What you do is you look at every prior high, this high, whatever, right? Trade above it and then sweep down, that's a short. If it pushes up, doesn't make it into the high and loses it, that's a short. The key is to wait for the candles to close, okay? So these two have been basically free money. Takes the high, right? Takes the high right here, bearish retest and rejection of the former range. So it fails to make a new high, starts to reject. Your short is actually right here. Yes, you could short right here, but it's a little scary, right? I wouldn't short right here. You probably come down to here, right? Because this is the low. You close your position, you see a bearish retest, which is this once again. This is the range. Short it all the way back down. You should be closing out your short right here. This probably bounces. So now where are you looking at? You're looking at the prior range. Prior range is right around here. This is your next short if you set alerts. Andy Candy says, I started to build a long on SUI at 66 cents based on the breakout. Can you take a closer look at it? Somebody on stream asked me this last stream. I think they said like they wanted to see it go to 90 cents. And I said, wait for this area first. And the reason is when coins are weak, they tend to continue to be weak until there's a fundamental change in either that coin or the market. I just think this coin is going to continue to be weak for a while. I don't see the strength in it, okay? I just don't see the strength in it. Usually on these retests, you want to see prices be bought back already. And I'm not saying that this trade can't work out. You have a great entry. You built along at 66 cents, which is like current price. I would close my position below 64. Let's do INJ. INJ is performing decently. I don't like the current rejection right here because this does look like a lower high. You do want to see a bounce right here, but when something has strength to continue up upwards, you typically don't see this kind of price action. This kind of price action reminds me of coins that are struggling to find a bid, and then people are just selling off or taking their profits from this, and it most likely comes back down into this area around this 7.5-ish, but I wouldn't cut the position until it loses 780 or 770, whatever. But be very careful with this. I understand why you entered this trade because it doesn't look that bad. So if I zoom out a little bit more, I see what you're doing. Like, I see that you're buying support. I see that you're trying to play the bounce on an otherwise very strong asset, and it could work out, right? But close the position if it closes under 770. Close the position and then re-enter if it reclaims, right? Your trade looks a lot better that way. All right, let's do comp. Comp has been performing really well. Comp looks okay. I am cautious here. If you don't have a long, I wouldn't long here. Just because if you look at this, you're literally longing into daily resistance. This could be a lower high. So in my opinion, I do like that you are focusing on a coin that is strong. You are choosing the fastest horse. But if the horse is really fast and it's been running for a while, maybe you should give the horse a little bit of a break and then get back into it, right? So I'm going to talk about re-entry areas rather than where I think this will go, because I think that would do you a little bit more justice as you're looking at this chart. I like this zone, this mid zone right here, because typically on very bullish assets, and I use very sparingly, but comp looks very bullish, and I will say that if it continues to be bullish, you don't want to break this market structure. Just try your best to imagine what it would look like if prices did something like this. So if it trades back below here, that's already kind of sus for me, given that this coin is very strong. First area of support right here, pick back up for a bounce. I do want to see prices even if it comes just below this zone, 58 to 60 is where I would love to bid for comp. This is the upper bounds of it, and this is the lower bounds. So that's about 5.5% zone. We can do AAVE, yes. AAVE looks good, bro. A lot of these DeFi 1.0 coins are doing very well. I think you just keep buying the consolidation right here. If you get like a structure right here of a lower high like this, maybe 70. Yeah, 69.70s is a good zone. Let me do Maker. So Maker looks disgusting. Ideally, yes, you are at this consolidation and you do want to buy it. Thing is, Maker looks like it wants to just meet its own Maker, okay? But yeah, Maker doesn't look that great. I would bid around 850. And the reason I'm just giving you guys areas where I would bid or where this setup is wrong is because I don't think this is an area where you want to be buying. And I'm not telling you guys to short it either, because you are on support. Because if you were to short it, where's your stop loss? You short this right here, where's your stop loss? 23% up above these highs, maybe a close above here, so like 10%, and you'd have to take profit the next support area right here. Yeah, this terrible trade, right? Even if you extended it all the way down, this is better, but this is a big ask in my opinion to completely revert this pump. Okay, all right, let's do Litecoin. I'm starting to become a fan because people are starting to hate on Litecoin as much as I did when I got stopped out. This is starting to look good. You kind of want to see this consolidation sideways, especially as Bitcoin is starting to also kind of build up these higher lows. Personally, I would start a position here. I would cut it if it comes down here, which I know is a lot because it's what, 4%? 95.94 would be a decent re-entry on Litecoin. And the reason for that is if you look at this is a 4-hour range right here. So we have swept the lows. This is the lows being swept, right? People probably got stopped out, liquidated, whatever, because prices immediately bounced up, went to the range high. Now we're back at the range low. This is how you want to interpret that, okay? You can call it a level reclaim, right? How it reclaimed this level and now it's retesting this area. Will you do Link? It looks better on the weekly, but man, is this such a sad coin, man. Like the opportunity cost, yeah, you're right. The opportunity cost on this coin is actually insane. I personally am not a big fan of coins that look like Chainlink just because I don't like betting on losers. It's like I don't like betting on things that are weak, right? Of course, I love a good underdog story. I love seeing coins that were counted out start to do well, but I only hop into that trade when they start to do well. AVAX would benefit if Solana does well. I think AVAX is a lagging indicator on Solana. So if Solana does break up and you see AVAX kind of reclaim this 1320 area, this is a good long. So 1320 reclaim is a good long, or I would try and get closer to this. 12 something, like middle to high 12s would be a good entry as like higher lows keep forming. For this higher low, I would want to see a 1320 or lower right here, because the stop loss on this is a little difficult for me to manage. So I would prefer if it was like 1270 on an entry or 1320. It's not literally diddling in the middle, but like if you didn't get in on this retest, you're either 1320 or 1270, 1260 area. Yeah, those are your best areas of opportunity in my opinion.